my dear students, welcome to Teacher at Home. Today class we are going to learn the second chapter from trade to power. Even the black gold has a story to tell. Friends, I am Pepper. Can I invite you to Europe a few centuries ago? The rural folks in Europe would kill some of their cattle for meat, preserve it for the prolonged winter season. Heavy snowfall in the winter was not favorable for the grass to grow in the cattle fields. Both the people and the cattle faced shortage of food during the season. A solution for this was to preserve the cattle meat as food for winter. Remember that there was neither electricity nor refrigerator of any kind during that time. So they found meat effective in preserving the meat and making it tastier. In short, it was inevitable for them. My friends, cardamom, cinnamon, and ginger, all spices like I am, were also loved by them. The traders came in search of us from the time immemorial. The spices of our land were essential for the foreigners. The traders all over the world used to visit here to collect the spices. You understood the previous chapter about the conquest of Constantinople by the Turk in 1453. This came in the way of the trade between Asia and Europe. The situation necessitated the European traders to find out a sea route to India. With the discovery of sea route to India, the Portuguese, Dutch, and the English and the French reached India for the purpose of trade. From Portugal to Calicut. It was a sunny morning, the month of May 1498. Three huge ships anchored at Kapat near Calicut. The language and dress code of the mariners in the ships were quite different from the native people. There were a group of sailors from Portugal under the leadership of Vasco da Gama. Vasco da Gama got a profit which was 60 times greater than the cost of their voyage by selling the goods they took back with them. Samarin, the then ruler of Calicut Kozhikode, did not provide trading facilities to Vasco da Gama. So he left for Kannur, gathered necessary goods and then returned to Portugal. Almeida and Albuquerque, two sailors from Portugal, reached here for trade following Vasco da Gama. Goa and Damandiu were the major trade centers of the Portuguese. They constructed St. Angelo Fort at Kannur and Kottapuram Fort in Thrissur district. The Portuguese were also known as Parangis. Agricultural crops like pineapple, guava, papaya, red chilli, cashew, tobacco, etc. that were found in Kerala now were introduced by the Portuguese. The widespread use of printing machine and the development of the art form Chavitu Nadagam were some of the aspects of Indo-Portuguese relationship. The Portuguese could not establish many trade centers in India. Let us examine the reasons for it. They did not have enough economic and military resources to compete with other European powers. They faced resistance from native forces. Kunjali Maricus, the admirals of Samarin's naval force, led the resistance against the Portuguese in the Malabar region. Find out the influence of Portuguese on different walks of Indian social life and prepare a brief note in it. The Dutch were another European force who reached India during the Portuguese. Kochi and Colombo were the chief trade centers at the Dutch. It was Van Reed, a Dutch governor, who initiated the compilation of Hortus Malabaricus, a book on the medicinal plants of Kerala. He completed the book with the help of Itti Achyutan Vaidya. The Dutch fought with the Marthandavarma, the king of Travancore, following the disputes over trade. The Dutch were defeated in the Battle of Colachil in 1741. They lost their ground in India with this war. Dutch were also called Lanthans. Got an idea about Hortus Malabaricus, didn't you? Collect the folk wisdom of the medicinal plants in your locality. Advent of the English. The English East India Company was formed in England in 1600 for trade with the countries like India and China. Surat in Gujarat was the first trade center of the company in Bombay, in India. They also established trading centers at Bombay, Mumbai, Calcutta, Kolkata, and Madras, Chennai. French trade relations. The French East India Company was established in 1664 and the French reached India for the purpose of trade. Pondicherry, Puducherry, Mahe, and Karaikal were the chief trade centers of the French. Portuguese for their headquarters. The competition for the monopoly of trade. European country competed for monopolizing trade with India. The Portuguese and the Dutch were defeated at the very beginning of the competitions. The French and the English became locked in intense rivalry. The conflict between the forces lasted long. Series of conflicts between the French and the English in South India was known as Carnatic Wars. Ultimately, the French was defeated. The company gained power. After gaining the monopoly of trade, the East India Company focused on the acquisition of power in India. Company rule in India had its inception in Bengal. Agriculture prosperity and the convenient trade facilities prompted the company to capture power in Bengal. The British defeated Siraj ud Dowlah, the Nawab of Bengal, in the Battle of Plassey in 1757. Entire Bengal came under the company rule with its success in the Battle of Buxar in 1764. What were the factors that motivated the English East India Company to gain power in Bengal? The war between the English and the French happened mainly in the Carnatic region, which include the major regions of the present Tamil Nadu. So this battle were known as the Carnatic Wars. The Plassey and the Buxar. The British could succeed the Battle of Plassey through the secret alliance in which Robert Clive, the commander-in-chief of the British Army, forged with Mir Jafar, the commander-in-chief of Siraj ud Dowlah. However, the success in Buxar was solely due to the superior British military power. They defeated the combined force of Shah Alam, the Mughal Emperor, Shuja ud Dowlah, Nawab of Oudh, and Mir Qasim, the former Nawab of Bengal. The reign expands. Mysore was another region that was subjugated by the British. Mysore was a powerful kingdom in South India. It became the dominant power in the region during the reign of Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan. The domination extended even to areas like Malabar. They interrupted the trade of British in Malabar region. The friendly relation that Tipu Sultan maintained with the French also added a fuel to the animosity of the British. This made them conquer Mysore. Tipu fought bravely with the British and died fighting in the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War. With the success of the British in Mysore Wars, Malabar and Coorg came under the British reign. Treaty of Srirangapatnam. The British had to fight 4 wars before establishing their suzerainty in Mysore. The British annexed Malabar as per the Srirangapatnam Treaty signed between Tipu and the British after the Third Anglo-Mysore War. Subsequently, the company conquered the Marathas, who were a threat to the cotton trade of the British. Soon after, they conquered the princely states of Sindh, Punjab, and Oudh. We have seen that the British conquered the powerful princely states using military force. Such states came under the British rule. Certain other princely states were affiliated through treaties and legislations. Subsidiary alliance, introduced by Lord Wellesley, and the doctrine of Lap, executed by Lord Wellesley, had an important role in the acquisition of the princely state. Princely states like Hyderabad, Tanjavur, and Indore entered into subsidiary alliance. Rulers who signed the subsidiary alliance were assured protection by the company against the rulers who assigned the subsidiary alliance were assured protection by the company against inventions and internal revolts. However, the actual administration power of the states were with the representatives of the company. Lord Wellesley introduced the policy of doctrine of lapse. As per the policy, when the ruler of the princely state died without a heir, British could annex the state with British India. British adopted different strategies to annex the princely states. Almost all of India came under the British rule in 1857, and a unified administration was implemented in British India. Milestones to power, war, legislation, war, the battles of Plassey and Buxar, Anglo-Mysore Wars, Maratha War. Buxar, Bengal, Anglo-Mysore War, Malabar, Coorg, Maratha War, Maratha. Legislation, subsidiary alliance, doctrine of lapse, Hyderabad, Tanjavur, Indore, etc., Jhansi, Satara, Nagpur, implemented unified administration in the conquered areas. Summary, the Portuguese, Dutch, English, and the French reached India for trade. Contact with the countries influenced our social, cultural, economic life. It was England that succeeded in the competition for the monopoly of trade with India. British annexed the princely states through wars and treaties and became the rulers of India. So that's all about this chapter. If you are interested, please do like, share, and subscribe my channel. Okay, thank you.